Good morning, guys. Welcome back to another back to school week video. Let's just go ahead and address the elephant in the room, my eyeball. I woke up this morning. The sty in my eye has gotten intense. I'm doing all of the recommended treatments. I'm really hoping that I've never had one get this bad before. So after I woke up like that this morning, I spent the morning with a hot compress, black tea bag. I really like soaked it and cleaned it out, and without getting into too much detail, because you're probably drinking your morning coffee, I was able to kind of compress and help remove some of the swelling inside, if that makes sense. It's really disgusting and it's not fun, and what's funny is that it looks like I got a brow lift on this side, because it's like so swollen over here that's actually raised my eyebrow up. I'm like, well, that's nice. So we'll call that the silver lining. I did bring out some little glasses that I might wear for the video. I don't know. I don't want it to be distracting. It's distracting me, and I don't want it to be distracting you guys. But I think this might be karma for me saying in my favorites video that that I couldn't think of a justification for wearing sunglasses indoors, which, by the way, was totally a joke. A handful of people let me know that when you have migraines, you need to wear glasses indoors. I don't suffer from migraines, so my brain didn't even go there. And of course I was kidding anyways, but the point is that now the Lord has been like, oh yeah, well, have a sty in your eye and then we'll see if you go in the store without sunglasses on. Anyway, so I'm not feeling all that great, but it's back to school week and I want to finish regardless of if I look like the guy from Goonies or not. We're going to wrap this up. So today we are going to talk about high school and our curriculum choices for my daughter, who is going into the 9th grade this coming year. If I say anything dumb or forget anything, just know that everything up here is not working to its full capacity today. So give me a little grace in that regard. I'm not feeling the best. So I've tried to make sure I have everything gathered and think through everything, but I'm a little foggy today. I do want to do future videos. Today would not be the day for me to get on any kind of soapbox and talk about anything really super important. But I do want to create a little bit of content in the future talking about homeschooling high school. I feel like it's one of those subjects that there are a handful of channels, homeschooling channels, that talk about it. There's a ton of content out there to be found if you are homeschooling younger kids, elementary age kids. But once you start getting up into middle school and then especially into high school, it really dwindles as far as finding other people online. Obviously, there's tons of curriculum and stuff like that, but I just mean like finding other homeschool channels. I have a few that I watch very religiously and have for years in preparation for high school. So anyways, I want to talk a little bit about my philosophy for homeschooling high school, kind of our plan, what we're thinking, how we tailor things. So if something that I share today or talk about today doesn't entirely make a bunch of sense, just know that I'll get to further explanation later. And I do have a lot I want to share and talk about in regards to homeschooling high school. It may not be applicable for you now, but maybe you can come back and find those resources later. I will say that the second most asked question I get when people find out that we homeschool, after they ask, say it with me, what about socialization? The second question after that is, but you're going to send them to real school for high school, right? Or some variation thereof. You're not planning to homeschool them for high school, are you? So just know that if you are intimidated by the idea of homeschooling your kid all the way through high school, there are so many resources and things out there available to you. It's absolutely possible. It can absolutely lead to success. If you guys watch our family vlog channel, then you'll know that my little sister, Savannah, was homeschooled all the way through from kindergarten through high school. She went on to get her undergrad. In fact, she was a triple major in college, and now she is in graduate school and beginning to apply to PhD programs. She's not a one-off or an offshoot. There are lots of homeschooled children who go on to college and find great success in college. If that's the path that you feel is best and your child is interested in pursuing, college is more than possible for homeschooled kids who are homeschooled all the way through high school. Okay, I said I wasn't going to get on a soapbox, and then I did it anyways. All right, let's just go ahead and get started. I've got some of her English stuff here. Let me just go ahead and tell you that, obviously, just like with any other grade, where you live, you need to look up what your state requires for high school. And I would obviously look at what are the bare minimums. What I did was I went to some of our really good state schools and looked up what are their entry requirements, kind of based on knowing what my daughter wants to do. She doesn't know where she wants to go yet, but what she thinks she may want to do. What would they be looking for in a high school candidate? We may have to take pauses because my eye is leaking. All right, so for English, she is going to be doing a combination of Introduction to Literature. This is a course that I don't know a ton about, but came highly recommended from a couple of different homeschool moms who've got high schoolers. So we shall see. Carefully chosen books to provide a foundation for cultural literacy, self-directed courses, guided research, week-by-week lesson plans. Honors option provides motivated students the opportunity to earn advanced placement or college credit. So yes, this is what we are doing as part of her English. And then we are also doing Fix-It Grammar. This is the student book 6, the teacher's manual and the student book. Again, like I mentioned in my 7th grade daughter's curriculum video, we've never done Fix-It Grammar before, but I've heard so many great things about it that I thought it would be a good add-in. It says successfully learn grammar in only 15 minutes a day. This is through IEW, Institute for Excellence in Writing, and we've used some of their curriculum before and really enjoy it. So she's going to be doing that as well. And then I do also have 100 daily teaching lessons, the grade 9, that's the student workbook. She's got the tests here, and then that's the teacher's edition. So I realize that's a little redundant, and she probably won't end up doing both of those. I talked about this again in the 7th grade video that I just accidentally ordered them both. And so we're just going to see which one we both like better, and that will be her grammar portion of that. I've got so much stuff stacked around me right now. And then we are also going to be doing collectively with my 9th grader and my 7th grader, and this is part of her English. Like I mentioned in the 7th grade video, we are going to be doing 4 literature studies together, the 3 of us, my 7th grader, 9th grader, and myself. So we're going to do 1 book a quarter. I don't want it to be too much or feel overwhelming, so I felt like 1 book a quarter was really good. It wouldn't feel like too much extra for us. And so I've chosen 2 of the books. For sure I know that these 2 are ones we're doing, and then I have a couple others in mind for book 3 and 4. We'll just see when we get there. So we are doing To Kill a Mockingbird, and then we're utilizing from Teachers Pay Teachers the literature studies different packs. So we're also doing Animal Farm. So these, this particular woman who creates these on there, just really like a lot of her stuff. I will leave all of this linked in the description box as always, but I really like a lot of her literature units and the way that she pulls things out. And I will be showing in future videos organization and everything. So I'll show you guys kind of how I set all this up. Her Animal Farm, for this one is for Animal Farm, and there's quite a bit there. I just printed off this one thing so I could kind of have a flip through of it and have it here to just show you guys a little bit in the video. But now I don't have it yet, but we did order Essentials in Writing. I don't have that yet. So she's going to be doing Essentials in Writing, Fix-It Grammar, and Intro to Literature to make up her English credits. So this year for history, we decided to, because we needed to separate and we weren't going to do the good and the beautiful this year as, everyone doing it together. As you know, for my 7th grader, we decided to do not grass history this year. And so there are various options of which ones you can do through high school. So we looked at the different options and I showed them to my daughter. We talked about them. I wanted to give my kids as much control as I could over what they were doing in their school, so long as it met so long as it met her credit requirements. And so she is going to be doing the not grass history, exploring world geography. And I kind of am like, can we do it together? Do you have to do it without me? Can we do it together? Because it looks really interesting. You guys know that I just love learning about different cultures and different places around the world. If we could go visit each one of these places, I would be happy as a pig in mud. I love it. So this is there's a lot to this history curriculum. You've got first book here, second text here. So this is all of what she's going to be reading and learning from these texts. And then there's also this one, which is companion, contains an atlas of world regions and countries, an enlightening collection of readings that highlight different parts of the world. So it is a lot of maps and stuff. Did you guys have to do this in high school? I took a course, my world geography course in high school. We had to memorize how to draw the world map, like the flat world map, based on latitude and longitude. We had to memorize it. And then at the end of the year, you came in and we had like 3 classroom days to sit there with a ruler and colored pencils and from memory, draw the world. I don't think I'll require her to do that because it's stuff like that that I look back on and I go, but did it actually help any of us retain where these places were in the world and tag any like specific historical events or current events to them? I don't think that it did, because you spent way too much time worrying about memorizing the latitude and longitude numbers and getting the outline of the map right, because you got the most credit for that, than remembering what was inside the borders and like which countries are in Africa. Like so many people don't even know that Africa is not a country. I feel like we should have focused more on that. Okay. It also comes with a student review book, quiz and exam book. This stuff is so exciting to me. This is better than opening Christmas presents, in my opinion. Guide for parents and answer key. It seems a little slim considering all of that, and then a book pack. The good news is that despite the fact that she's got a lot of reading to do this year, she enjoys reading. She's a fairly fast reader, and I think her only problem is going to be making sure that she has time to read as many of her personal books that she wants to be reading on top of having the school books to read. So the books that she'll be reading to go along with world geography: A Long Walk to Water, a favorite of mine. We read it last year, so she should breeze through this one pretty quickly because we read it last year and she probably remembers it. The Country of the Pointed Furs and Other Stories, Lost in the Barrens. That's a bear and a wolf and some dudes. That looks scary. Kidnapped. The Day the World Stopped Turning. Patricia St. John tells her own story. Blood Brothers. Know Why You Believe. Ann Judson, A Missionary Life for Burma. Revolution is Not a Dinner Party. 9-year-old Ling has a very happy life. Her parents are both dedicated doctors at the best hospital in Wuhan. Look at that. Boys Without Names. Tales from Silver Lands. So those are her books that she will be reading with her history curriculum this year. We're also going to be doing Bible together again this year, the Apologia Bible. I shared that in my 7th grade daughter's video, but that's just something we do together in the mornings. So she's going to be doing the Apologia Bible this year. And then for math and science, we are going to try Shoreman this year. Because she's considering something in the veterinary field, she obviously knows that we need to be heavier on the maths and sciences, which are neither subjects that she is naturally inclined to. However, we're not big believers in letting that stop you from doing something. You can learn anything and it doesn't have to come naturally for you to learn it. We're going to be doing Shoreman math and science. We still haven't 100% decided which science she's going to be doing. So I will follow up and share more after potentially the first quarter review and let you guys know what we ended up choosing for that. Which one, basically. So we're going to do Shoreman, but I just don't know which one yet. We're trying to kind of map out the 4 years and what makes the most sense and the order to do it. So we're still kind of trying to nail that down, but that's what we're going to be using for math and science. It is a distance learning online situation. So then as far as electives, so remember we're looking at a whole school year, and at the high school level, we are going to be incorporating some half credit things. So there'll be things that she'll only be doing for a semester. But for electives, she's going to be doing a finance class. We are using one of Dave Ramsey's Foundations and Personal Finance classes. I personally don't agree with every single thing that the Dave Ramsey financial philosophy teaches. I think that there's a lot of exceptions to some of the stuff that he talks about. But I'm encouraged that the teen version, this is a class meant for teenagers about foundations and personal finance. I feel pretty good about her taking that class just to understand the very basics of personal finance. And for the second semester, I'm working on a veterinary assistant type elective for her. Once I have all of that hammered out, I will share that with you guys. So the nice part about having some only half credit classes is that I can kind of like take some more time to work on that because it's not something that we need until second semester. So I'll share that in forthcoming videos. And so I do have additional resources that I'll kind of be sharing when I share more about the schedule and things like that I'm using to beef up certain things, certain classes. So with Bible, we've got something additional that we're going to be doing to help beef that up. I'm going to talk about that in my family curriculum choices video. So you'll hear more about that there. Now you may notice that a foreign language is missing from this list where a lot of people do foreign language starting in 9th grade. The situation is that my daughter is very interested in doing French. However, she understands that for college and what she wants to do, it may be more practical for her to do Spanish. So what we're doing is this year, because the way foreign language works is that you have to take 2 years of the same foreign language and they have to be consecutive years. So what I told her that I thought would probably work best for her is go ahead and let's just use Fluens and just have some fun with learning French this year. See what you think of it. I do think that French can be a difficult language to learn, but I also explained to her that once you kind of get your brain in the place of learning more than one language, of learning a new language, that it can be easier to build on them. So I just said, why don't you just get yourself in the headspace of that this year with Fluens, and then we'll just push forward with French, and you'll do French your sophomore, junior, senior year. Neither one of us want her to waste any credits in terms of like taking a full year of French and then deciding not to move forward with it, and we could have used that credit for something else that would look good on her transcript. So anyways, that's why you don't see a foreign language in there right now for this year. So we're going to see how all of this shakes out, how all of it goes. It's not so easy once you're in high school. It is not so easy to make changes to curriculum and choices and things like that. It is a little bit more like you've got to stick to it for the semester, maybe even the full year, just depending on what it is and how you're taking the class. So it does feel a little bit more permanent when we make these decisions, but we're both really looking forward to this school year. I think that she and I collectively have made some really good choices for her, and I'm just really grateful that she gets to be a part of the decision-making process for her school. She gets to take some ownership in what she's doing and what she wants to be doing, and sort of self-directed as far as like what she wants to lean into and learn and the direction she wants to go. Okay, so that is it for our high school choices thus far for 9th grade. We've still got a few last minute decisions to make and electives to hammer out and stuff like that, but that's sort of the basics. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. I hope that my goober eye was not too distracting for you, but I'll see you guys again for the rest of back to school week. Bye.